Very good morning to you all. So today through this lecture I would like to explain the section formula and applications of the same. So first of all let us see what is this section formula is. As in previous exercise we did about the distance formula. That is, if there is a join of A and B consisting of chord x1, y1, x2, y2. So if I mark a point P here upon this AB, so you just can notice that this P divides this join of AP and PB into two parts, and that is a fixed ratio. Suppose I am marking that as M1 and M2 here. I need to determine the chord of this point which divides the join of AB consisting of chords x1, y1, x2, y2 in a definite ratio of M1 is to M2, and the chords are x and y. So the formula we are using to determine the chord of this point is called the section formula. So this is M1x2 plus M2x1 upon M1 plus M2 for x chord, and for y simply you have to replace this by y1, M1, y2, M2, y1 upon M1 plus M2. So this is called the section formula. This is called the section formula. So now by substituting these values of M1, M2, x1, x2, I just can, and y1, y2, calculate the value of these chords. Now suppose I am talking about if P is the midpoint, then what to do? If P is the midpoint, then it becomes the, if P is the midpoint, then it is called midpoint formula. Midpoint formula. Why? Look at this. Because you see here, as I mark this point P here, what happened? This M1 and M2 is definitely getting divided into two equal parts. So here M1 upon M2 will be equal to 1, and then M1 will be equal to M2. So each you can replace here by 1. So then you see the result here. This will be 1 into x2 plus 1 into x1 whole upon 2, M1 plus M2, or you can write here 1 plus 1. So the x chord now you can represent by x1 plus x2 upon 2. And similarly y will be equal to what? y1 plus y2 upon 2. So this is called the midpoint formula. Nothing I did, simply I replaced this ratio. Why? Because now I am considering this P is the midpoint here. So then the ratio will be divided in equal parts. That is, P is the midpoint, so M1 upon M2 will become equal to 1. And then by replacing these values, I can write the chord of x and y in terms of x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y is equal to y1 plus y2 whole divided by 2. So now this is the midpoint formula. That is the second format of the section formula I have shared with you. Third is, suppose you are talking from ratios calculation point of view. If you need to calculate the ratio, so to calculate the ratio, I can reduce these two variables into one variable. First of all, you just try to make it very clearly why. In your syllabus, only the internal division is there, children. You need not to extend this either to this side or to this side. Means your answer of ratio will always be positive. That is going to be positive. It is not going to be negative anywhere. Internal ratio is there in your syllabus. That is AP plus PB. So, to calculate the ratio, you just can M1 is to M2 can be replaced by K ratio 1. So what is the purpose? Here are the two variables. not an issue to calculate from this formula also. I can calculate m1 and m2 from here also. How? When the chord x2, x1, y1, y2 is available and x and y is also there. So I can write one equation in terms of m1 and m2 from this and m1 and m2 from this also. And by solving those equations simultaneously, definitely you will be able to calculate the value of m1 and m2. But if I reduce this, then how easy it is. Now you see, if m1 becomes k and m2 becomes 1, so that is I have to write x is equal to, that is kx2 plus 1 into x1 means x1 upon k plus 1. So when x part is given, directly I can use this and to calculate the value of k. Similarly, your y will be equal to what? ky2 plus y1 upon k plus 1. So to calculate the ratio m1 and m2 can be replaced by k ratio 1, and for that the formula you can use is this one to calculate x chord as well as to calculate the y chord. So suppose the question is, if by using the section formula you need to prove, the points are collinear. So you calculate the value of k by using the x chord as well as by using the y chord also. And in both the cases you will find the k is same, and this is not going to happen anytime that a k will be having a different values for x and y. But sometimes suppose the question is like the p is lying on the x-axis. So when it is lying on the x-axis, to divide the join of a, b, I know y chord is 0. So why should I talk about x? I directly will put y is equal to 0 and will calculate the value of k. But if you need to prove whether the points are collinear, then you need to find the x also. And then by putting that x, you need to calculate k for this x also and for this y also. And you will find that k for both these equations will remain same. And if it happens, that means the points are collinear. A, P and B are collinear. So this is the part of your syllabus which we have to discuss through this exercise in 3 formats. This is the simple and direct section formula. If P is the midpoint, then this is the formula x1 plus x2, then ratio will become 1:1 and you will replace m1 and m2 by 1 and 1 only. And if you are going to calculate the ratio, determine the ratio in which the P, then the chord x, y, x1, y1, x2, y2, everything will be given to you. And then you can assume that in the ratio of a ratio 1, y, the purpose I just have shared with you. Suppose you are getting k is equal to 3. I said the answer will always be positive. So if k is equal to 3, so your answer will be equal to what? 3 ratio 1. If it becomes k is equal to 2 upon 5, so your answer will be 2 ratio 5. If it becomes 7 upon 3, so your answer will be 7 ratio 3. And remember that will always be positive. So that's all about your general discussion, section formula and its application. And from application point of view, in your NCERT, exercise 7.2 is there, so that we can discuss now and we can apply this formula in back-to-back questions of this exercise. Like the first question is, find the coordinates of the point which divides a join of -1, 7. So you just mark these points like A, B. Here it is given -1 and 7 are the chord of this, and then B is there, that is 4 and -3 are the chords of this point B. And P, that is 2:3. You have to determine the chords of this P, and the ratio given to you is 2:3. So this is the question. Exercise 7.2, first question which you can consider direct application of your section formula. So better you always write down what is x1, y1, what is x2, y2, what is m1 and what is m2. Then write the section formula. X is equal to m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2. So here x1 is -1, y1 is 7, x2 is 4, y2 is -3, m1 is 2 and m2 is 3. Now you just can substitute these values here to get the value of x. That is m1 is 2, x2 is 4, 2 into 4, m2 is 3, x1 is -1 divided by 2 plus 3. It gives 8 minus 3, 5 upon 5, that is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 will be the answer for this. And similarly you can apply for y. Y is what? m1 by 2. m1 by 2. m1 by 2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. So you just can substitute these values. Look at this. m1 is 2, y2 is -3, so it becomes -6. m2 is 3 and y1 is 7, so plus 21 divided by, again, that is 5. So 21 minus 6 is 15. 15 upon 5 will give you the value is equal to 3. So x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 3 will be the answer for your question number 1. So that's about the solution of question 1, direct application of the section formula. Now let us take the second question here. So in question number 2 you can see, find the coordinates of the points of trisection of the line segment joining 4, -1 and -2 and -3. So here it is A, here it is B, and you have parts given are 4, -1 and -2 and -3. 4, -1, there it is -2 and -3. Now we need to trisect this join of AB, and so definitely I hope all of you are clear with that. To trisect, how many points I will have to mark here, like suppose one I am saying is P and another is Q, so that let P and Q divide the join of AB in 3 equal parts. P equal parts, that is AP is equal to PQ is equal to QB. So then the line is getting trisected. AP is equal to PQ is equal to QB. So here now you see what happens. You just can, only this information is available with me, and I need to determine the chord of P and Q. You decide whether would you like to go for Q first or P. That decision you have to take over here. So suppose I am taking this in this way. Now you can see one part is this, one part is this, and one part is this. So 1 plus 1 ratio will be 2:1. If you are going in this way to get the chords of Q first, and assume that is X and Y. So now we are back to our section formula. Otherwise you have the second option also available. You can work out within this and this also. Within this and this also. Then your ratio will be taken as 1:2. That is your choice. Either you go in form of 2:1 or 1:2. Then you will assume the chord of P first, X and Y, and then you will be able to calculate the chords of P first. So you just decide how would you like to go. So I am just considering Q first. So I will calculate the chords of Q. So my X will be again equal to M1 X2. So M1 is 2. X1 by 1. X2 is -2. M1 X2 plus M2. M2 is 1 and X1 is 4 upon M1 plus M2. Again that is 2 plus 1. Now let us see the result is -4 plus 4 upon 3, and -4 plus 4 will make it 0. The value of X for Q part will be equal to 0. Similarly for Y now you go M1 by 2. M1 is 2. Y2, Y1, this is y1, this is y2, so here it is minus 3 plus m2 is 1 and y1 is minus 1 upon again 2 plus 1. So it becomes minus 6 minus 1. Minus 6 minus 1 upon 3, that is equal to minus 7 upon 3. So what y will be here minus 7 upon 3. So these are the chord of x and y for your this point Q. Now to calculate p, you look at this, suppose I am saying this is L and this is M. Don't you think that now P is the midpoint of AQ because AP is equal to PQ. So you write down because AP is equal to PQ, so therefore P is the midpoint. So P is the midpoint, so therefore M is equal to what? Midpoint formula x1 plus x2, 4 plus 0 upon 2. 1 plus 1 ratio will be same. X1 plus x2 upon 2. So here it is x1. Now this will be the x2. That is 0. 4 plus 0. So this will become equal to 2. And M will be equal to what? y1 plus y2. Minus 1 minus 7 upon 3. Minus 1 minus 7 upon 3. 4 upon 2. So that you can do the calculation. Minus 1 minus 7 upon 3. This is minus 10 upon 3. So finally this becomes minus 10 upon 3 to the 6. So 5, 3. The value for M will be equal to minus 5 upon 3. So answer you are getting chord of Q are 0, minus 7 upon 3. 0 and minus 7 upon 3. And chord of P you are getting L and M, that is equal to 2, minus 5 upon 3. So P and Q divides the join of AB in 3 equal parts. You need to calculate the chords of P and Q. So here is the answer ready for your reference. So that is the way how you can go for this calculation. And at a time I have used the section formula as well as the midpoint formula. What is the difference between two? That I have already made clear to you. So please make a note of this answer of question number 2. Now question 3 is there, that you can see the figure is given to you and read the question. This is to conduct sports day activity in your rectangular shaped school ground. ABCD lines have been drawn with chalk powder at a distance of 1 meter each, and 100 flower pots have been placed at a distance of 1 meter from each other along AD. You just can have a look the figure given besides the statement of the question. As shown in the figure, Niharika runs 1/4 of the distance along AD. So along AD means 1/4 of AD. AD total is 100 flower pots are kept over there. So 1/4 of 100 means 25th. Second line, that is x chord is 2 and y chord is 1/4 of 100, that is 25. Similarly, Preet runs 1/5, so that is 1/5 of 100 is 20. On the 8th line means along x-axis abscissa is 8. So 8 and 20. What is the distance between the both of these flags? So then I just told here let Niharika position is at N, so this implies N is equal to what? 25, I think, second row, and one by fourth of AD, that is equal to 25. And then second is Preet. So Preet's position position is at, suppose I'm taking here is at P. So this implies P. Eighth row means along x-axis, FC size 8, and 1/5 of 100, that is equal to 20. So 225 and 8 and 20 will be the chords. Now you need to determine the distance NP. Okay, x1, y1, x2, y2, that will be 8 minus 2 whole square plus 20 minus 25 whole square under the root. So it becomes 6 square and plus 25 means 36 plus 25, somewhere it is 36 plus 25 under the root. Then you can go for this calculation. It becomes 61 under the root. So this is the distance between the two flags. Point Rashmi is exactly between the two. So let Rashmi is positioned at R. I have taken the letter Niharika is at N, Preeti is at P, and Rashmi is at R. So he is exactly between the two, that is the midpoint. So therefore R is equal to what? So R you have to calculate is x1 plus x2, 2 plus 8 upon 2, that is the x chord, and y chord is 25 plus 20 upon 2, that is the y chord. So it becomes 10 upon 2 is 5, and this is 45 upon 2, I will mention 22.5 also. So that will be the position of the flag posted by Rashmi. So fifth line will be there and the distance will be 22.5 along AD. So that is the solution for your question number 3. Now let us go to question number 4. So here is question number 4 as per your textbook is find the ratio in the line segment. So now the ratio, as I said, ratio you have to determine in terms of k ratio 1. This is the position, 3 points I am taking here, A, B, join of the points minus 3 and 10. So the chords are here minus 3 and 10, and the chord of B are also 6 minus 8, B, 6 minus 8, is the point. A ratio I need to calculate is divided by minus 1 and 6. So here are the chords given to you. So let the ratio be k ratio 1. First step. Let the ratio be k ratio 1. So as I said, this k, you pick either x or y. So if I take suppose y is equal to I know that is equal to what? M1 y2 plus M2 y1 upon M1 plus M2. But in terms of k, that will be k y2 plus y1 upon k plus 1. So I will be using this one for ratio because I have reduced the variables from M1 M2 to k ratio 1. So y will be equal to what? K y2 x1 y1 x2 y2, that is minus 8 plus M2 is 1 only and y1 is 10 here. So upon M1 plus M2 means k plus 1. And what is the value of y? That is given equal to 6. So this is minus 8k plus 10 upon k plus 1. If I do the cross multiplication, I will get 6k plus 6 is equal to minus 8k plus 10, which implies 14k is equal to 4. And k is equal to 4 upon 14, that is equal to 2 2s be 2:7. So you please can check the answer for this. 2:7 will be the answer as I introduced this K method. Now if you want to check whether these points are collinear, please you check it for x also by putting the value of x minus 1, and in terms of m1 x2 plus m2 x1, you will be getting the value of k for that minus 1 also again is equal to 2/7. That proves the points are collinear. So that is the use of your section formula to prove the points collinear. So that is the end of your question number 4, and application of the section formula to calculate the ratio which I introduced just in the beginning part of this lecture. So let us see number 5 now. So here is question number 5. Find the ratio again. Divides by the x-axis now. So again the question is same. You see, look at this. What is the difference? I am not going to solve. I leave it to you again. P, A, B, and here you can see A is 1 minus 5. What's given over there? And B. B given to you is minus 4 and 5. So minus 4 and 5 is there. On the x-axis, as P, this should be the part of, as P is lying on the x-axis, lying on the x-axis. So therefore, chords of P, I can assume chords of P on the x-axis, y chord is always 0. So now I am discovered about x because I have to calculate again the ratio is k/1, and y is known to me, so directly I will go for y, ky2 plus y1 upon k plus 1. Why should I bother about x chord? Because the point is lying on the x-axis. That is the beauty of this question. Directly it is not mentioned what are the chords of P as it was the part of your previous question. So you have to guess yourself, what could be the chords of P. So that step you have to mention just in the beginning of your answer. You are very clear with the fact that if the P is lying on the x-axis, I know the chord y will always be equal to 0, and out of 2 you have to use only 1. So if I am putting y is equal to 0, k, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2, that is 5 over there, plus y1 is minus 5 upon k plus 1. So this will make 0 is equal to 5k and minus 5. So therefore 5k is equal to 5. So k is equal to 1. So your answer will be 1:1. That you can check. Your answer will be equal to 1:1. So you please make a note of that. And also it is asked, find the ratio. Also find the coordinates of the point of division. Now you need to determine a chord to 0 aa gaya uska already. Now you need to determine x also. For that, what will you do there? Putting the value of k in suppose your equation 1. How will you get that? When you have kept here, like in case of x, if you are writing the equation, so that will be equal to what? m1. In terms of k, that will be k x2 plus x1 upon k plus 1. So now x you need to determine. So you give it number 1, and to write the chord, you come back to this 1, and k now you have got is equal to 1. x2, x1, y1. x2 is minus 4, you can substitute it. x1 is 1 upon k1 plus 1. So that is x is equal to minus 4 plus 1 upon 2. So that is minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3 upon 2. So x chord will be here minus 3 upon 2, and y already you have taken is equal to 0. So the point, अगर आपको यहाँ x भी निकालना है, so you have to use this x is equal to kx2. As soon as you have calculated the value of k, you can substitute it here. By substituting the value of x1, x2 and k, you will be able to find the value of this x also. So this is the way how to go for your solution of question number 5. I think that much is sufficient. So next 5 questions I definitely will be covering in your next lecture. Thank you. Have a nice time. May God bless you all.